Okay, guys. I'm here to continue the WrestleMania review series with WrestleMania III. The WrestleMania that many fans that are my age, around say 31 and 32, consider the greatest WrestleMania of all time. It is my favorite WrestleMania of all time. It has my favorite match on it of all time is on this show. So I'm going to be straight up with you. I did rate these matches of a star rating. And while it's not a perfect show in terms of star rating, this show is not going to be anything other than an A+. I can't in my good conscience say that. This is the most influential show ever in the history of the WWE. Okay? This is the show that is the reason that a lot of us wrestling fans who are older still watch wrestling, is because of everything done in this show. Okay? I cannot in my good conscience rate this anything other than an A+. I cannot. This is the only time I will ignore that, because I cannot do that. It does not deserve to be called anything under an A+ show. Okay? And I'm going to tell you a lot of why in this video this show cannot ever be considered anything other than an A+ show. So WrestleMania III, March 29, 1987. Pontiac Silverdome in Detroit, Michigan. Opening contest is Cowboy Bob Orton and Don Muraco versus the Can-Am Connection in an okay tag team match. It's 1.5 stars. The Can-Am Connection win. Next match is Billy Jack Haynes versus Hercules. 2 stars. For a match about bodies, this is not that bad of a match. It ends in a double count out, and it's a rather entertaining, not really bad, horrible match. It's 2 stars. Next match is a 6-man tag team mixed tag match, in which it's King Kong Bundy and his 2 midget partners, Lord Littlebrook and Little Tokyo, and they're taking on Hillbilly Jim and his 2 small little people partners, Little Beaver and the Haiti Kid. This is a half a star in terms of match rating, but it does have a Memorable WrestleMania spot on it where Bundy drops an elbow on Little Beaver. That's negative and something like that, but on the other hand, it's a Memorable WrestleMania moment, which there's a lot of them on this show. There's a lot of Memorable WrestleMania moments on this show. That's another reason that this show is considered the greatest of WrestleMania of all time by a lot of fans that are older. And Bundy dropping the elbow on Little Beaver is still an entertaining moment, and it's still a memorable moment, which ultimately is what WrestleMania needs. To be in the pantheon of WrestleManias, of great WrestleManias, you need to have a WrestleMania with a lot of WrestleMania moments that are memorable. Next match, the King Harley race versus the Junkyard Dog. 1.5 stars. This is a loser must bow match. And basically, all you need to know is this. Junkyard Dog had virtually all the offense in this match, and Race won with ability to belly off with a distraction by Bobby Heenan. So, still a good match. It's 1.5 stars. So the next match is the Rougeau Brothers versus the Dream Team. Not a bad tag team match here. It's a 2-star match. Dream Team won, and then they leave Brutus Beefcake high and dry, and the Dream Team would then become Greg the Hammer Valentine and Dino Bravo. This is set something up really important in the next match, and it's another reason why this show is widely, is held in such high regard. So our next match, hair versus hair match. Rowdy Roddy Piper versus adorable Adrian Adonis. This is an entertaining match. It's 2.5 stars. Piper wins because Adrian Adonis lets go of his sleeper too soon. Brutus Beefcake comes in and revives Piper, who puts a sleeper on Adrian Adonis, wins the match. And then Beefcake cuts Adonis's hair. In this moment, the WWE made Brutus Beefcake a babyface, mid-card babyface wrestler. That he would stay the rest of his time in the WWE. And this match and the previous match set this up. So, again, this is one of those things that the WWE does not do anymore, and that they were doing here. So, you know, it made a new babyface star in Brutus the Barber Beefcake, who the next year is wrestling for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. So, like I said, 2.5 stars for that match. Our next match is a 6-man tag team match. It's the Hart Foundation and Dangerous Danny Davis versus the British Bulldogs and Tito Santana. This is a good match. It's 2.5 stars. Told the story of the match well. And was a very, and Danny Davis was doing this thing where the slightest thing he did, he jumped up and celebrated. Like it was like a massive accomplishment. Doing a couple kicks, he would, sell that like it was the biggest thing in the world. Danny Davis knew how to get heat on himself, which is a lost art nowadays. So, yeah. So the next match, The Natural Butch Reed versus Coco Beware. 1 star. Not a bad match, but ultimately it was a filler match before the next match. And the next match, we come to one of the most memorable matches in WrestleMania, one of the most talked about matches in WrestleMania history, that has been overhyped and oversold in the WWE a little bit. Don't get me wrong. But this is my all-time favorite match ever. This is a match that shaped me as a wrestling fan watching this match. And that is the WWE Intercontinental Championship match between the Macho Man Randy Savage and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. This is a 5-star classic. And like I said, the WWE has overrated its profile. The WWE has used it in a little bit to, overrate it somewhat. But the thing is this. These two guys, Steamboat and Savage, went out there and had the first true WrestleMania match. This is the greatest Intercontinental Championship match in the history of WrestleMania, and arguably the greatest Intercontinental Championship match in the history of the WWE. The only one that comes a close second, that's a pure IC title match, and I would need it at WrestleMania 6, where the WWE Championship was also on the line, is Bret Hart the British Bulldog from SummerSlam 1992. In terms of what is the greatest Intercontinental Championship match. This, in my opinion, is the greatest Intercontinental Championship match in the history of the WWE, and it is bar none the greatest Intercontinental Championship match in the history of WrestleMania. This match told every kind of story. This match is up and down, back and forth. You're on the edge of your seat so much throughout this match. There's a reason so many wrestlers like Chris Jericho and whatnot were influenced by this match to get into the business. It's that good. Okay? It's that good. And there's no matches like this today. And it's half the reason that when I do a wrestling review, I can't get as passionate as I used to be about pro wrestling. Because there's no matches that are this good. There's no matches that do what this match that ended up doing what this match accomplished. This match made Ricky Steamboat a star in the WWE. It launched Randy Savage to what he would do the very next year, which is win the WWE Championship. And it told an amazing story. The psychology in it, Savage keeps going back to Steamboat's injured neck. He wants to take the belt back to the throat that he previously injured, and George Steele causes that not to happen. I do think the ref bumping is a tad bit unnecessary, but that doesn't dwindle from my match. Although in terms of the story, it makes sense why this ref bump. The Savage needed a way to get the championship. This is my favorite all-time match. No match has ever come close to it. And with Savage going into the WWE Hall of Fame this year, I now know that the two participants who made up my all-time favorite match have taken their rightful places in the WWE Hall of Fame. And this is one of those matches that is the reason people my age still watch pro wrestling and still watch the WWE. Because we have faith that if the WWE tried, and if they tried hard enough, they could deliver with matches like this. Matches that, even though they are nearly 30 years old, are still remembered as one of the true all-time great matches in the history of the wrestling business. This is those match. This is one of those matches, bar none. It withstands the test of time, and that is what makes a truly classic match. And when I hear the WWE say a lot of their recent matches are classics, it is an injustice to this match that you're referring to a lot of them as classics, because this is a classic. This is a match that will live in the history of the WWE for so many years to come. Steamboat and Savage. And if they ever do start inducting matches to the WWE Hall of Fame, this one needs to be one of the first matches inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame. It worked on every level. And that's what makes a great match, is that it works on every level. And this match does. Savage Steamboat had a phenomenal chemistry in the ring. They told their story well. And this is the best pure wrestling match you have on this show. That is pure, straight up wrestling. This is the best match you have on this show. And even though this is my favorite match, I can tell you this is not what put 97,138 people in the Pontiac Silverdome. But I think this is a match that made a lot of them true wrestling fans. I think this is a match that made a lot of people see what pro wrestlers can be, and that they deserve a modicum of respect for their craft. And I can't rate this match anything other than 5 stars. You know? And it's my favorite match, so you can call me a little bit biased in that fact. But everyone's biased towards something in life. The reason WrestleMania 3 is the only WrestleMania I watch every year leading into WrestleMania. It's the only match, it's the only one I watch, and it's partially for Steamboat and Savage. I never did a video about my thoughts of the Macho Man going into the WWE Hall of Fame. I never did. And it's because I want to soak in. It's because I want to remember so much stuff that Randy Savage gave me as a wrestling fan, the hours of enjoyment that the Macho Man gave me, and the fact that for so long he was denied his rightful spot in that WWE Hall of Fame primarily due to vendetta Vince McMahon had against him from an unfounded accusation. There is so much I could say about this match, but I don't want to ramble. So there's the passion that I have for this business, for the wrestling business. that I lost watching this event rekindles it periodically because of this match. Now, after Steamboat Savage, you need a cool-off match. That you needed a match that would cool the crowd off. And that's where the next match, Jake the Snake Roberts versus the Honky Tonk Man, comes in. This is a 2-star match of Honky Tonk Man winning. And they were getting ready to take the Honky Tonk Man onto a very lengthy 64-week reign as the Intercontinental Champion. So, it was the right booking decision here to give him a quality win over Jake the Snake Roberts. So, our next match is the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov versus the Killer Bees. This is a 2-star tag match, and even though it ends in DQ, it's still a 2-star tag match, with Sheik and Volkov winning. And this would be the Iron Sheik's final WrestleMania until WrestleMania 17. Think about that. And, you know, and that led to the event that this whole show was focused around, the main event. Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, which I did rate 5 stars. Is it a 5-star match in terms of match quality? No. The other 2 stars are because of what this match did for the WWE as a whole. Off of this one match alone, the WWE ended up launching both Survivor Series and SummerSlam from this one match. Okay? Survivor Series 1987. The very first Survivor Series was the main event. A team captained by Andre the Giant and a team captained by Hulk Hogan. Based off of WrestleMania III. Main event, and they're also main eventing SummerSlam 1989 together. The first SummerSlam in 1988. When it's Hogan and Savage versus DiBiase and Andre, with Jesse Ventura as the guest referee. This match launched 2 pay-per-views. This match itself launched 2 of the big 4 pay-per-views off of this one match. This is also the match that made Hulkamania. Okay? My biggest disagreement with WrestleMania 19's build between Vince and Hogan was that they totally forgot what Andre the Giant did for Hulk Hogan. Sure, Hulk Hogan was getting pops in places like Madison Square Garden and whatnot, but no one took him seriously as a replacement for Bruno until this match. This is the match that cemented Hulk Hogan as the face of professional wrestling and the face of the WWE and the biggest and most successful superstar and wrestler that that company will ever see. John Cena will never reach the level of popularity that Hulk Hogan did. Daniel Bryan will never reach that level of popularity. And I'm a Daniel Bryan fan, and I can say that he'll never reach the kind of popularity and do for the WWE what Hulk Hogan did. Because Daniel Bryan does not have a moment like this. Hogan slamming Andre is a moment that is ingrained in WrestleMania history. It's a moment that every wrestling fan knows. It's a moment that lives in the hallowed halls of time in the WWE. And all of this, even though the total star rating is 27.5 out of 60 for this show, there's so much more that this launched and did for the WWE as a whole that there's no way I can rate it under an A. I'll give you that not every match is great, and match quality-wise, like 17 is, in a way. But the thing about 17 that really brings it down is one match and a finish to a match. But there's nothing really memorable to it, and quite frankly, people my age of WrestleMania 17, all we think about is the day that wrestling really died, because it's really the day that there was one company for a while, and still kind of is, because TNA and probably Gold Force Wrestling run by Jeff Jarrett are never going to reach the level of that WCW ever reached, to where they could possibly put the WWE out of business. So, like I said, X7 is the perfect WrestleMania in terms of match quality. This is the perfect WrestleMania in terms of overall performance, overall, you know, entertainment value, and overall just spectacle. This is truly what WrestleMania should be. Okay? This is what WrestleMania should be, is this show. And that's why it's a pantheon in the Mount Rushmore of WrestleManias. So, most wrestling fans my age could probably not in good conscience give this show anything under an A+, because of how much this meant for the business and how much it meant probably for a lot of us to have. Like I said, I give you that it didn't have 5-star matches throughout the show, but sometimes the best shows don't need 5-star matches throughout the show. The lowest rated match on here, though, is a half a star. Everything else is either 2 stars, 2, you know, 2, 2.5, 1, and it's got 2 5-star matches that, granted, Hogan-Andre is not a 5-star match, quality match, but like I said, the story it told was good, was phenomenal, and it basically launched Survivor Series and SummerSlam off of it. So, yeah. There's probably people going to disagree with me, and that's fine. Wrestling purists who are all about match quality, I respect your opinion. I really do. But wrestling is 95% storytelling and entertainment and 5% match quality. This show is that 95% spectacle and entertainment and the 5% of match quality in it. That's what makes a good wrestling show. That's because pro wrestling you can approach sometimes like what makes a good movie. A good movie is paced good, it's got very good characters, and, you know, it's entertaining throughout. This show is entertaining throughout. This is a show that you will not ever be bored watching. And that is why it stands the test of time. So, if you like the video, hit the like button down there, hit the subscribe button down there, and if you would like to leave a comment, because I will read it. And next is WrestleMania 4, which I will go back to the original thing with WrestleMania 4, because after the pinnacle of WrestleMania 3, WrestleMania 4 did not reach this pinnacle. So, that'll be uploaded Monday, because I don't upload on Sundays. Sorry. So, yeah. So, thank you for watching this video, and bye.